A few weeks ago, the United States decertified Colombia as a partner in terms of combating narco trafficking. But at the time, Washington did not cut off funding to Colombia. What does it mean that the Trump administration has now taken the step of cutting off funding to Colombia?
Well, Karen, I think it means the gloves have come off. And it is no longer the diplomatic bureaucracy that manages the relationship with Colombia. It is now Trump directly, who feels an affront by Petro, who feels a challenge by Petro, and wants to put his thumb down on Petro and, by happenstance, Colombia as well.
The one thing that we understood was that part of the reason that Washington hadn't cut off that funding was because the idea was that this was a long-term relationship, and because we know that there are huge concerns about narco trafficking in the region. There's also this idea that what you might have when you have a president who's empowered temporarily is different from having a military that you might partner with for the long run. So what does this mean for relations with Washington's military as well? How is that going to be affected by a cut in funding?
Well, I think many people in Colombia are trying to salvage the relationship for what it's worth because they understand the strategic implications. A more weakly funded Colombian military and Colombian police unfortunately means an advantage for drug trafficking organizations and other criminal armed actors that are trying to bring drugs into the United States and into Europe. And I think Trump understands that fundamentally, but I think this is about punishment. I think this is about hurting Petro and sending a sign elsewhere. But one other thing, Karen, that I think I've been talking about lately is, why did Petro and Maduro react to Trump, and why haven't Lula and Sheinbaum reacted in tandem? And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Petro, this is his last hurrah. This is the last 10 months he will ever have as president. Sheinbaum has 5 more years in her sexenio to go and a long relationship with Trump to keep. Lula is looking for re-election for 4 more years, and he will also have a long-term relationship. This is not the hill they die on. But for Petro, this is it.